Tottenham Hotspur have smashed local rivals West Ham by 3-0, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at how they did it. We're going to be discussing the tactics involved that helped Tottenham overwhelm West Ham and take a look at every single goal to break down how they got yet another brilliant win. Pressure, pressure, pressure. That is how I would describe this Tottenham Hotspur display against West Ham. While initially not creating too many clear-cut chances from open play, the pressure that they placed upon this West Ham defensive line was extreme, utilising Pat Matasar as an extra attacking midfielder when Tottenham had possession, allowing Palhinha to be that sole defensive pivot, gave Tottenham a little bit of more attacking potential going forwards. It was then the roles of the wide areas, the way Tottenham dominated those two specific zones, allowing for them to have a number of different creative opportunities. Bergvall played a pivotal role in this, especially on the left hand side, looking to link up with Xavi Simons, who wanted to come infield. Jed Spence would do his part in making those overlapping runs, but Bergvall also would play a huge part, making darting runs forwards, pushing that West Ham line back a bit, allowing Xavi Simons to drift infield, opening up passing lanes, passing triangles, and giving Tottenham a better ability to move the ball through that central zone. It was then also the role of Mohamed Kudus out on that far right hand side, one of the best dual operators in the Premier League currently. He wins his 1v1 battles, and he did this time after time again, looking to get crosses into the box, and crosses were a major avenue that Tottenham really looked towards. Over 30 crosses attempted in this match for Tottenham, and in comparison, West Ham only managed 9. Now, while a lot of these were intercepted, a lot of the time what you'd see is them going out for corners. Tottenham had over 13, or actually they had 13 corners in this game, a huge amount, still allowing them to maintain that incredible attacking pressure. And it was a corner with that unrelenting pressure that Tottenham placed onto West Ham that finally made the hammers break. And it was through this great cross from Xavi Simons, whipping it round towards the back post. But there are a couple of things to notice here. Number one, Tottenham's positioning in comparison to the West Ham players. Obviously, West Ham operating more of a zonal system, looking to try and prevent Spurs from being able to get into the areas that they really want to. But I wanted to really contrast this with a different corner that Tottenham had in the first half. This is one that led to a foul that happened, a disallowed goal that ended up getting ruled out. But notice the movement of these Tottenham players and the positions that they're taking up towards the front post. They're central and towards the front, but you've still got Matisse Tell out on this back post, a free man. Now, you could argue that West Ham don't mark him because of the amount of pressure that's being placed on that front post, but if we just contrast that with this goal that gets conceded towards the back post, you've got Pat Matasar right here. Look at the amount of players from West Ham that are front facing towards the goal. Look at where the Tottenham positioning is, towards the centre of the goal or towards the back post. Now, what this allowed is for blockers from these Tottenham players to prevent the ball, or prevent the players I should say, moving over towards that back post. It's then a case of whether Pat Matasar is able to get his head on it. He absolutely is, climbs over that West Ham player in pretty brilliant fashion and then gets it in. It's a really well worked goal, and one of the real indicators that Thomas Frank is having a huge impact on this Tottenham side. Tottenham score from corners now, they score from set pieces. They are a much better side, and it really, really shows. We highlighted Lucas Bergvall earlier on, and he plays a pivotal role in both of Tottenham's upcoming goals in pretty brilliant fashion. First of all, let's start off with Tottenham's second goal and the one that he scored. Tottenham have a free kick following the red card that West Ham gave away. Let me know your thoughts on whether it was a red card in the comment section below. But before it gets reset and before it starts to get kicked off, we need to notice Lucas Bergvall right here. I mentioned his runs in beyond that was so incredibly crucial earlier on, and he does exactly the same here. His passive positioning here is absolutely brilliant, because what it does is it causes question marks for this West Ham defensive line. The midfield line isn't aware, and he's just in that zone between defense and between midfield. It's a horrible zone to try to defend against, and it's brilliant passive positioning, and this is what's making me think that Thomas Frank has already had a huge imprint on this Tottenham side, because it's runs like these that you would see with his Brentford side. It's absolutely brilliant. So the ball gets played on, play is now restarted, and it goes over to Palhinha. Lucas Bergvall hasn't made his run yet. But notice what happens once Palhinha passes over to Romero. Romero gets the ball, and that's a trigger for Bergvall because he understands that there's a potential for him to run forwards. Notice this right here. Look at this. He's ready to go forwards. He's making that movement. Notice his hand position as well. This is really important. This right here, pointing towards the ground quietly, softly. He doesn't want to be recognized. He doesn't want to be noticed. If he places his hand in the air, players are going to get noticed. He instead gives a small gesture to Romero, who's looking over. He's not being pressured. West Ham do not reset the situation well enough, but he's not being pressured at all, which allows him to see the whole picture. Romero plays a brilliant pass here because he notices this run from Bergvall. As the ball gets played over, let's take a look at another angle here. This is really good. He's in between fullback and centre-back, and he's about to make a run into this channel beyond. But Romero sees this, and it's absolutely brilliantly done. But as Romero is about to kick the ball, you've got Bergvall on the run now. He's now starting to sprint. West Ham do not react quick enough. They're not fast enough to be able to catch him. It is a brilliant pass over by Romero, but it's fantastically done by Bergvall, who leaps like a salmon. It is incredible. Do salmons leap? I don't know, but it is fantastic. It's sensational. He leaps and he knocks it over the goalkeeper, a looping header over the top. The goalkeeper can't get anywhere near it. It is sensational. It is a brilliant goal from Lucas Bergvall, and that attacking, driving run, for me, has Thomas Frank written all over it. It is sensational. Finally, guys, before we end, let's take a look at Tottenham's final goal. Again, heavily involved in this is Lucas Bergvall, but we've got Matisse Tel on the ball right here. This is following on from a corner that was over on the far side. It's been whipped over towards this right-hand side, and now Tottenham are looking to bring it back central. A couple of things we need to notice before we move this on. Lucas Bergvall's positioning, again, his passive positioning in this game was superb. Just amazing. Look at how much space he's got. If he was to be found, he is in acres. Another thing to mention before we move this on is the difference in space between the centre-back and the full-back for West Ham. Just simply not good enough as the full-back gets dragged away. Matisse Tel brings it more central, and you've got Lucas Bergvall asking for the ball. He's begging for the ball. He understands how much space he's in. He's got good game awareness, but it gets passed over towards Palhinha, and this is why you have Palhinha in the side. Yes, of course, it's for his defensive capabilities, but he can also see a pass. He's really good. He's got the vision right here. Bergvall is asking for it. He understands that he's not going to get it yet, but once it goes over to Palhinha, that first-time pass into Bergvall in the space that he's got is fantastic, and it triggers Tottenham to then go forwards and take that space and really be that little bit more aggressive. Now, instead of strikers in the box, because obviously you had Matisse Tel on the right hand side, you've instead got two centre-backs. What could go wrong? Absolutely nothing for Tottenham because of this great touch from Lucas Bergvall. A little bit heavy, of course. I think you would want to control the ball, but it goes into the centre of the box for Mickey van de Ven to fire home in pretty spectacular fashion towards the bottom left-hand corner. It is a fantastic shot, brilliantly worked by Tottenham, but of course that man, Lucas Bergvall, does a sensational job once more. It's a brilliant effort by Mickey van de Ven, and Tottenham thoroughly deserve the victory. It was a sensational result, and yet again, another big win for Thomas Frank and his side. But of course, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learnt something new, and I hope to see you in the next one. But until then, my friends, take care.